What's going on, everybody? You got the Raging Rob here. Another video. Today is April 21st, Friday, 2023. Almost 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And what a weekend we have ahead of us. Tomorrow I will be attending the Second Amendment Rights Rally in Hastings, Michigan. It's going to be a good rally. We got a lot of good speakers, some public officials that are on our side. You know, it's hard to believe, but we got a few. We got a few people in Lansing fighting for us. We got one person running for Allegan County Sheriff. We got another constitutional sheriff. We got a lot of good. Tomorrow's going to be a good day. I'll put it that way. I will be attending in Hastings tomorrow between 1 and 5 p.m. It's going to be at the Berry County Courthouse, from my understanding, downtown Hastings, which is, if you're not familiar where Hastings is at, it's about 35 minutes kind of west and dip down a little, of Lansing. A little bit, probably about 20 minutes southeast of Grand Rapids, about a half an hour northeast of Kalamazoo. I think it's almost directly above Battle Creek, 25 minutes, maybe northwest of Battle Creek. Somewhere, it's out there in the country, it's out there. Little town, Hastings, not big town. A small big town, I guess you could say. So anyway, here in Michigan, we have a tyrant governor. I think you already know that. Our state's kind of purple. We got our blue little utopias here in Michigan, like Detroit, Ann Arbor, some areas of Grand Rapids, Kent County, Saginaw, Flint, Genesee County, Benton Harbor. And the rest of Michigan's red. Michigan's a red state if you take out all those little blue utopia zones. And I call them utopia zones because these liberals, they live in their little utopias of, whatever. But basically, Michigan's a red state. It's like Illinois. Illinois, you eliminate Chicago, Illinois is a red state. You eliminate the Bay Area, California, and a lot of Southern California, California's red. But anyway, it's the corruption. So, in this lovely state of Michigan, my home state, I was born and raised in Oakland County. I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, lived there for 10 years, and then came back. Now I live about halfway between Lansing and Flint out in the country, Shiawassee County. A Second Amendment sanctuary county, by the way. But anyway, our governor has signed a couple of bills basically violating the Constitution, telling you what to do in your own home, how to lock up your gun in your own home if there's children present. Punishable by 93 days in jail, which is a violation, of private property rights. Okay. The other one, all gun sales need a background check, which opens up the door for paperwork behind every gun sale, which now basically is a registration. The ATF can look it up and see what you got. The background check itself, I'm not against. I'm against all the paperwork and the registration and all that shit. If background checks were calling up a hotline to see if your name's on it because you're a terrorist or, a domestic abuser or this violent person and your name's on a hotline, that would be one thing. And there's no paperwork behind it, that would be one thing. If you're on a database, that'd be one thing, but it's not. It's registration. They keep paperwork. ATF's got it on file. ATF can look it up. The FFL has it on file. All this paperwork. Oh, so-and-so bought this gun. Background check, basically it's a registration. And that's why I'm against it. Then we have the red flag law, which I don't know if it was signed into law yet. I think it hit the governor's desk. I'm not sure if she acted on it. I don't think she did yet. I might take some heat for what I'm about to say. That's fine. The red flag law, there's 19 states with red flag laws or extreme protection orders. All of them are extreme. They violate the Constitution. The fact that somebody can make up a lie to have your guns taken and you got to prove to the court that you're not insane, that's terrifying. That you can't defend yourself against all the loonies that are out there. We got anything coming across the border, especially in a country where anything's coming across the border. We're not paying attention to what's coming across the border. Okay? Anybody can be out there, and you have no means to protect yourself because somebody made a lie about you. That is terrifying. So I did some research on the red flag legislation in Michigan. It's not as extreme as you think. It's extreme. Don't get me wrong. Any red flag law is extreme. Somebody private messaging me. Somebody sending me text messages. My phone's blowing up. Any red flag law is extreme. Don't get me wrong. The Michigan one is not as extreme as you think. It's not the neighbor across the street can't do it, try to take your guns away. Some random on the internet can't take your guns away. It goes down to family members and law enforcement only. Me, my family is 90% conservative. I have that one little part of my family that's liberal. There is a few liberals in my family. I get along with them just fine. I got no reason to believe they would red flag my ass. I get along with the liberal side of my family just fine. There's a couple, I'm not going to say any names, but there's a couple I got to keep my eye on. But for the most part, I'm safe. Sadly to say, not everybody is safe from this. There's some people out there, especially some people I know, that have a liberal side of their family. Like the one friend I got, I'm not going to say his name. He told me that there's some people in his family that would red flag his ass the first chance they get. That's not the case in my family. Actually, there's liberals in my family that carry guns. I got the one liberal side of my family, and some of them carry guns. So, basically, my extended family and relatives are all basically very pro-gun, pro-Constitution for the most part. But there's some people that can't say the same, and I feel sorry for them, and I'll be praying for them. So basically, the Michigan law that's being signed, it's going to be signed. Hopefully we can stop it, but saying that a family member can petition to have your guns taken, and law enforcement can petition to the court to have your guns taken. So, hold your breath. Not some random troll that doesn't like you on the internet. They can't do anything, basically. They have to go to law enforcement. And then law enforcement's got to have their evidence. And then they get a petition to court with the evidence. It's not as extreme as you think. It's bad. It's very bad. Don't get me wrong. It is bad. Any extreme protection order, any red flag law is bad. Don't get me wrong. But Michigan's is not as extreme as other states. Not as extreme as New York's. New York, they basically label gun owners on the same level as sex offenders. So, yeah. So Michigan's red flag law is not as extreme as you think. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. It's very bad. It's very bad that it's gotten this far. This beautiful state has gotten this far. This progressive, this leftist. You think in our generations growing up, where did we screw up, And it all comes down to public education. That's where the fuck up was. Indoctrination, public education. It's a breeding ground. I feel sorry for these college kids and these kids going to public schools now. These public schools and these colleges are a breeding ground for liberalism. That's why I say defund them all. Okay, you get rid of them. Okay, you can't indoctrinate. That's where they're getting all this crap. So, A couple of gun groups in Michigan have filed lawsuits. Basically, what happened in the Michigan legislature, the governor, the House body of Michigan, there was a lot of violations of the Opens Meeting Act. Basically, Democrats overstepped their authority to shut down the Republican state legislators. Basically, long story short, they illegally passed these laws by violating many provisions of the Opens Meeting Act in the House and violating many bylaws in the Michigan House. So that in itself, the Supreme Court should label, hey, these laws were illegally passed and overturn, So thank God we got the Supreme Court on our side, but I'm tired of relying on the government, okay, to ensure our rights. Okay, they should. The government's only job is to ensure our rights. But I'm tired of. I don't want to put my trust into them. That's what I'm trying to say here. We shouldn't have to put our trust into them. We shouldn't have to put our trust into the Supreme Court. But that's how extreme this country became. Okay? It's absolutely insane. I know they're not going to listen to us. I know that these government officials, these politicians aren't going to listen to us. But we cannot lie down and take it up the ass and just let them do what they want to do. We got to get out there and let our voices be heard. Tomorrow's a good day to do that. We got to let them know what they're up against. That we're not just going to lie down and give our rights away. Okay? So, Hastings, Michigan tomorrow, Second Amendment rally, Barry Carty Courthouse. Be there, 1 to 5 p.m. I'm going to be there. A lot of good people are going to be there. I'll see you tomorrow in Barry County.